Hey YouTube, what's up? It's Heath the Miami Realtor, aka the Jiu-Jitsu Realtor fighting for his clients, and we are in 2024, finally, the year of dominance. That is the theme for this year. But for this video, I was talking to one of my friends who is currently living in a condo or an apartment building, and uh, the original landlord sold the property and someone else bought the property, and he's been having problems with the new landlord regarding, you know, maintenance and things like that. And he's just frustrated right now, and he was wondering, like, is there anything he can do? Can he call a lawyer? Can he, like, what can he do? Because he's very frustrated with the new landlord because they're not there's lack of communication between both parties. So that just gave me the idea to think about, renting versus owning. Let's get into it. Okay, so renting versus owning. Now, I'm a real estate agent. I think there is a place for both, but I would say you always want to end up owning. Owning is always better, and I'm going to tell you why. When you're renting a property, you have no control over your destiny, over like your future. It's really uncertain. I know a lot of people, they grow up, maybe their parents have never owned a home. Maybe no one in their family has never owned a home. So they grow from a culture of, renting. So it's just, you're used to just renting and paying rent, which is fine, but it's not okay, because yes, you may have a landlord and an owner of a property who will keep that property forever, 30 years plus, but the average time someone owns a home is 7 to 10 years, and usually they sell it after that, and that becomes a problem for renters. So when you're renting, you don't own that property, okay? You may be able to paint the walls whatever color you want, put posters up, decorate it, landscape. You can do all of that. You can do all of those things, but you don't own that property. It doesn't matter how many years you've lived in that property. You don't own that property. And that's the unfortunate thing about renting. People, I don't know, just they have it in their mind like, well, I've lived here for such and such time. They feel like a sense of entitlement, as if, they own this property. But truth be told, every year, because usually for rentals of residential properties, the lease is 1 year. Every year when you renew or choose to renew, the landlord slash owner could say, hey, I'm thinking about selling the property, or I'm going to sell the property, or my kids are coming back, they're gonna move in, then, and they have to give you 60 days notice of this always. But then it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Now you have to scramble and figure out, like, okay, I have to move, like, and just think, there's people who rent for 5, 10, 15 years, and they grew up in that house, and their kids grew up in that house, and they know the neighborhood and the communities and the schools, and they know the neighbors, and all of a sudden, like, their life gets completely disrupted and they have to move. That's highly just, it's like a volatile event that you can avoid by owning a property. Now, there's a place for both. There's a time in your life where you might need to rent a property, and there's a time in your life where you want to own a property. Renting, I feel, is good for people. Like, if you can't, live with a family member or some friends or your parents and save money to purchase a property, and you really just have to, live out on your own, then just go ahead and rent. But if you can do any of those things, living with other people and saving money, I would say go ahead and do that, because renting is extremely expensive, and at the end of the day, you walk away with nothing once you leave. You have no equity, you have no money saved from paying that rent. All the changes you did to the house, stay with the house. I mean, I guess you can talk with the landlord, and if you brought an appliance or something, it depends whatever is in your lease, you can take it or whatever. But usually, you spend years building your dream home in that house, and you have to leave, which is sad. So I would say, if you move to a new city and you want to, you're not familiar with the area, you're not familiar with the neighborhoods, and you seem to like an area, then maybe rent for a year and see if you like this neighborhood, this area, and then buy. But I would always say it's always better owning, and for that exact reason. It's just, you can't really control your destiny when you're renting a property. You have lack of control. And that's really the biggest reason. And then the second biggest reason is lack of building wealth, building your money up, because right now, just for a 3-bedroom townhouse in South Florida, it's gonna cost you around $2,500 to $3,000, and for a single family home, it's gonna be $2,800 to it can go as high as $5,000 a month. Now imagine that, paying $5,000 a month, for rent, which people do because they rent whole homes for a year, and times 12. That's $60,000 a year in rent that they're paying. None of that money gets saved. None of that money is going to building up equity for you. You're essentially paying the homeowner and your landlord's mortgage. And everybody has to start from somewhere. But this is why you should never get in that mindset or that cycle or that culture of just being a lifelong renter, because inflation, everything goes up in a matter of time. Every year, everything goes up. So the property values of the house that you live in is going to go up. The property tax of the house that you live in is going to go up. Therefore, the landlord, your owner, the owner of your property, will eventually raise the rent. Never in my 30 years of living has rent went down, ever. Rent never goes down. It's never a dip. If I could show you a chart I might bring up a chart of just how rent goes up over time. There's never a dip in rent. If you start paying rent at $2,500 in 2024 and you're renting to 2030, right? That's 6 years. I guarantee you the rent is not going to be $2,500 anymore. It's going to go up. And never one year will the landlord be like, you know what? I think I'm going to lower the rent. I've never heard a landlord say that. I've never heard an owner of a property say that. It will never happen. However, when you own a mortgage, your mortgage stays the same. Your mortgage is set. You have the same monthly payment from day one on a 30-year mortgage to the last payment 30 years from now. It's going to be the same amount. So I just wanted to break that down because, I see so many people who are like lifelong renters. They come from this culture of renting. And I just feel like it's somewhat toxic. Home ownership is so important. I feel it's achievable. It does take a lot of hard work and sacrifice, though, to save up. If you're, financing FHA for your down payment, 3.5%. or conventional at least 5%, and then you have a 6 to 7% of closing costs. So essentially you need like 10% of the property's value to buy a house. And saving up 10% of a $500,000 home, $50,000, it's hard. It is difficult, but trust me, that 1 to 2 to 3 years of struggling to save and living with parents or friends or family members and just being like not in your most comfortable space because you know you're sharing space with other people, it will be worth it, because once you purchase your home, no one can kick you out. No one can control your destiny. You control your own destiny. You can do whatever you want to your house, inside and out, depending if it's like an HOA or not, you know. But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I just hope I just made that really clear for people, because I just want to break that cycle amongst just the general population, and I want to see more people owning homes, because it's possible. There's new construction going up all over South Florida right now at affordable price points, and there is different product for everybody. You know, if you're a big family, they have single families, they have townhouses. If you're one person or two people, a couple or whatever, they have condos. You know, you don't need that much space. They have townhouses that are 2 bedrooms, 2 or 2.5. So, you know, you buy what you need. You don't have to, you know, you're coming up in life, you're just by yourself, or you're with your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband. You don't need to buy a giant 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house that's 2,500 square feet. It's just it's too much. So you buy what you need, and you start where you can afford and move up over time. That's how real estate is. It's almost like a pair of pants. Like, buying real estate is like buying a pair of pants. There will be a time where, you know, you just, you know, you're slimmer, so you have like the skinny jeans. Maybe you know, you're making more money, so you're eating out more, you're getting bigger, so you need to get some bigger jeans, so you get rid of those jeans and buy some bigger jeans, you know, so you get what fits you, basically. I don't know if that was a good analogy. It sounded good when I first thought of it, but I don't know. Yes. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. If you're interested in renting, you can go ahead and contact me at HeathMiamiRealtor@gmail.com. If you're interested in buying or figuring out the process of how to buy, I do have a video about that, but you can also contact me at my email. And peace out. I'll see you guys later. We got work to do.